Welcome everyone to Tarot Journeys with Guy. How's everybody doing out there? So today we're going to do some fun stuff. We're going to peel back the layer of many of the things that we're talking about with all of the videos that we've all taken part in. And I thought I would have a special guest come on, a dear friend of mine, and her name is Taya. Yay! Welcome, Taya.
Hi.
We met during the Freedom Convoys up here in Canada. So it was a cool time, and how we bumped into each other was pretty cool.
Well, yeah, we united during the Freedom Convoys, during the Freedom Rallies.
Yeah.
And we've been going strong ever since.
Yep. So what me and Ted have done a lot over the last couple of years, but we get together and we do, like, I guess it's like psychic tea, where we come together with fortune tellers and psychics, and a lot of time it's just me and her, and we do world reads, and we look into things, and we peel back the layer, right? And so, like, a lot of the videos that, people watch and take part in, like I was saying, like the, reading on the deep state and the, world situation and, all of that stuff, that's what me and Taya sort of delve into. So we thought, this is awesome. Let's do it together and create some videos and see what we get into, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, let's just kind of get into this. So what do you do, like, with your readings? What kind of readings do you do and stuff?
Simply put, I give people a taste of reality. Yeah. Very much you and I, in the same sense, use the cards to convey a message.
Yeah.
And you've helped guide me with tarot to be able to more clearly and more accurately give people a reading, because the cards don't lie.
Yes.
And as you've seen, like in your last few episodes, it was just amazing how you talk about something and then the cards were like exactly what you just talked about, as if you didn't even need the cards, but there they were confirming what you just said. So I like that they've been so accurate.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great tool to have in my arsenal to be able to convey truth. And right now, I think that's the biggest thing we're doing, is seeking truth.
It is, actually. And that's what, I think that's why people like watching videos like this, right? And you're attracted to people like us. But you also work with numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Right? That's also where you and I really connect, is through numerology. And, yeah, it's awesome. It's been awesome, actually. Like, that's what was really cool about the Freedom Rallies, was connecting with people of like mind.
Right?
And
all walks of life.
Yeah.
Like you and I, we come from different backgrounds, different areas, different...
Exactly.
All together. But here we are, and we're united in the fact that we want the truth out. And we've come to the same findings. And
yeah, exactly.
That's why, it's unbelievable sometimes.
It is.
With what's happening in the world. So yeah, I just want to say it's an amazing time to be alive. And I think, we should all be in gratitude that we're here to witness this veil dropping and the truth being shared, and
the awakening.
The awakening. Because it feels like spring. It really does.
Yeah, it is. It's our opportunity. And that's the thing, is we're all being sort of activated, and we're all helping each other in that activation.
Yes.
Okay, so here we are in, Trump victory time, right? What did you think? Like, what were some of the things that you took away from, like, the inauguration, for instance? And
well, like we talked about previously, and what I'm going to share with everybody now, is that this really is the golden age. The first 100 hours of this man's presidency, I don't care who you are, you have to recognize we've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, it was crazy.
But
you're like me. You're like into him destroying the deep state.
Right.
And
yes, I'm glad somebody is doing it.
Yes.
Whether they want to or not, it doesn't matter, but somebody is doing it. And you know what? We should all do our part now, like you said. We all are activated, and it's time we all step up and do something. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah, the calling, right? We're all being
called.
Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, first 100 days. I mean,
Oh,
the first week, like it's just
glorious.
been like one thing after
It
another.
feels like things are being righted,
So
like things that were wronged are being righted, and people
yes,
are now empowered to speak up
yep,
and stand up and say things that they couldn't say before because nobody had their back.
it's true.
But now it feels like, you
It
know
is true,
what?
and people are feeling it. Okay, so what else? Did you see how Barron Trump said goodbye to Joe Biden? Okay, so President Trump in his inauguration speech, he's basically saying how incompetent and decrepit the leadership is and how it's ruining everything,
Yes.
and they're sitting right there. And then when Barron Trump goes to leave, he leans over and shakes Joe Biden's hand
Says something.
and says something.
And his face changes. I
What
saw that.
did you think he said?
You know what it reminded me of? The old Bush's funeral.
Yeah,
It
a
reminded
little
me
bit.
of that with
It
that
was
white envelope getting handed out,
Yeah.
and it was like, haha.
Yeah,
It was
little
it
bit.
was a rub, is what it was, is what I saw.
People are
Yeah.
like, well, and you saw the memes of like,
I haven't
gonna-
had a chance, but I
you tried to
assume there's
kill
gonna
my
be some
dad,
coming
and
out,
we're
yeah.
gonna come after you.
Well,
right?
how he's acting is like somebody who was treated the way he was treated.
Yeah.
He was vilified, and honestly, what have you found?
Well,
He's
and-
squeakier clean than anybody I've ever seen. And it
But-
makes
okay,
you wonder,
but- yeah.
is he a time traveler?
Well, see,
Is
that's
he
what-
cleaning up his record? Is he going and doing things? I don't know. It's going to come out.
Well, that's what
know.
people are speculating on,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
And like,
especially with those books that were written about
Okay,
Barron Trump.
so do you think he's a time traveler?
Yes, I do. I do.
You
And I
heard
will
it
go on
here,
record
people.
for saying
You
that.
heard it here,
Yeah,
people.
but I have done the research, and I can't
Well,
I can't just give you a nice little sentence to
Well,
put it
give us a
together
little-
to say,
okay, so-
hey, this is why.
Okay, so give us a little rundown of why you think that.
A lot of the disclosure that's coming out, that has come out ever since the COVID pandemic started, there's been a lot of disclosure. And I think that was a big push. And the reasoning behind that pandemic being pushed out the way that it was is so that we were distracted. So we weren't paying attention to what was being disclosed. So we didn't know the truth was being revealed. So that they can say, oh, yeah, we told you. You didn't pay attention. It doesn't matter. Let's look at Nikola Tesla's death. Who investigated
this is what
his
we're
office?
talking about. Like, so, like, part of the time traveler's story or the lore
Right.
comes from President Trump's uncle, John Trump, who worked for Vandermeer Bush and the beginning of the Black Project out of the Manhattan Project. This is the guy that worked on the Philadelphia experiment and everything. So, and he was given the mission of securing Tesla's notes when they kicked him out of the Waldorf Hotel. So a lot of people have speculated what's in those notes. And Trump has mentioned his uncle quite a few
Yes.
times. So this is where people talk about why they think that, right?
Yeah.
So,
But I have even more. I don't think he's just a time traveler.
well, there's
I think he's part of the Nephilim, of this alien race.
Okay, that's
and
something else.
That's a whole other topic of discussion. But again, it's all interconnected. All of these things, once you start exploring the truth,
but also the JFK files. That's going to hopefully open the door to more disclosure.
MLK,
Right.
JFK,
Okay.
RFK, all of that. Amazing.
It's awesome.
You know how many people, myself included, have been waiting.
We've been
for
waiting
this
decades.
truth, and
Even
I haven't been
Trump
waiting
knows
as
this.
long as a lot of people. And again, I'm in gratitude because I'm here, and we held the line, but it's not over. And it's like we have a real opportunity here to change power.
Mm-hmm.
Who has the power? Is it these evil globalists, or is it us?
Well,
You know, and we've had it all along, like in The Wizard of Oz. You know, we've had the power all along, and we just weren't told. We didn't know.
part of the awakening.
And that's what the cards are revealing.
Okay, so what did you think of Donald Trump's 3-hour dinner with Bill Gates?
I think, again, maybe it was a rub. I think it was a rub saying, you know what, it was a business meeting. That's what it was. You take this, we'll take this. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. I think that's all it was. And now everybody can speculate what they want, but the truth will come out whether we like it or not. And if he's a time traveler, he'll cover up whatever he doesn't want us to see, and that's it. There's nothing you can do. But it is what it is. All I know is for the first time in a long time, I'm excited and I'm hopeful. And that, let's go with that.
Okay, so what do you want to look at first? What do you think we should do first? Should we do a little mini world read? see what's going
Okay,
on?
where is everybody right now? Let's say where's the mindset of the world right now? Let's maybe look at that. Like where's the headspace? You know, I've been getting 7 of Cups all the time, and so it was funny. You get 7 of Cups.
Like the collective mind
like
space,
where is everybody right now? Where is their mindset, and what do we need to focus on to get out of it, to get better? You know, I want to focus on what do we need to do to really shift things? Like we've got a good moment right now.
Yeah, let's do a reading on the sort of collective mindset. What do we need to know, right? It's kind of a little bit of the usual, but we'll take a look, like as a world read. Where are people sitting with some of this stuff? Are they getting it, like what we're talking about, like the positivity?
Right.
Are they awakening? And what do we need to sort of...
Or are they like the leftist cult that's falling apart and being trolled hard by Tom McDonald and Roseanne?
Yeah. So this spread I like to do, you could actually draw a circle with this, right? This could be the world, right? But I like this because it's just a simple grid and you can read the cards in different directions, right? And very simply, like this could be past, present, future. In fact, that's how we're going to read it, is past, present, future. And this is the spiritual, what's crowning the situation. This is the present situation, right? This is the earth plane, and this is what's the foundation of it, right? And so, and very simply, and that's how I read cards, right? So I read the lines and pick up what it's telling us, right? And so, like with this card here, what do you see with that one? The 3 of Pentacles, with the 3 different professions working together to build a new archway.
Well, it's kind of like how we met, you know? It's like we united to build a future. And if you're sitting here with us, you are our third uniting with us to build a future.
Right. That's all of us.
So that is all of us combined.
Actually, that's a good way to put it, right? It's like how we're interfacing right now in the world. Like right now we're together.
Yes.
But you guys are spread out everywhere. And a lot
You're our third.
Exactly. And a lot of the connections in the world are like this right now. A lot of things have to be like that. See, like that's also a calling of being attentive to the right people in your life. See, that's another big one, right? But the infrastructure of the deep state has been effectively taken apart. That's why you see at the globalist meeting at the World Economic Forum them freaking out. Right, like they're done. Yep. They know that it's finished, right? And the infrastructure underneath of it, which is kind of like what they're doing, is building this arch, right? And so
a lot of those Davos supporters are realizing that they've been lied to as well.
Some of them,
they've been sold a false bag that their plan should have happened by now, or things should have been different by now, and it's not. And they've been waiting and waiting, and nothing's happened, and it still isn't going in their favor. So a lot of people are jumping ship, and that's what we're seeing is why people are switching sides.
Bill
and
Gates,
whether we like it or not, Mark Zuckerberg, Amazon, like you're going to see all these companies, people retiring, switching sides. Whatever, forced retirement, whatever you want to look at, it's going to be happening. And that's what the Lover's card is about. It's asking you, what would you be willing to do for love? And love of your fellow man, love of yourself, love of your future.
Yeah, like when you're unified, when you're no longer fighting within yourself, then you can really listen to your heart.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I guess that's what's happening. That's part of the awakening.
Yeah.
We have this great opportunity collectively to end that battle within, right?
Yeah.
But finding the right people, this is what we're seeing, like on a bigger scale, is like a new formation happening, right? And so, and there have been people that have signed deals and have cut ties with the globalists and the deep state, the decrepit deep state.
Well, they were lied to. And I have to believe that. I can't believe everybody that was part of the deep state was a nefarious character. Sometimes you sign up for something and you don't know the overall plan, and that's okay. But once you're aware to it, you have a choice.
You hear Trump and some politicians talking about restoring trust.
Right.
But restoring, like, and that's one thing I've always kind of been with you, is do you trust yourself? You can trust yourself. You can trust your intuition.
Right.
But how many times did you need
To fall flat on your face.
Well, I mean, examples on how to do it. And I've had many examples where I haven't listened to my intuition and boom, sure enough,
Yeah.
that's part of the lesson, right? But I think that's what's happening. I think collectively there's a core trust being sort of reestablished within the human form, but it's been frazzled. Like a lot of people talk about, like people walking around with cognitive dissonance still.
Well,
They're caught, right?
see, this card for me, whenever I see this card, signifies a party, signifies fun.
Yes.
And so upside down, it's like, your party's over, people.
Yeah, and people
I'm
are,
sorry to break it to you, but not sorry. Like,
and it might be hard for people to deal with.
it is hard for people to deal with.
fact-
That's why we're stuck here. But it's okay. It's okay. You just have to breathe and stop resisting. We were talking about resistance. What is resistance anyways? Just the fact that you don't want to look and see what the truth is. Plato's allegory of the cave. You don't want to go in behind and see really what's happening. You don't want to know. Like, come on.
Some people don't, though.
All of us have to agree that we've been lied to.
Some people don't.
And now, that's got to be a big enough push. I didn't wake up to the reality I was in until I felt it was too late. I spent most of my life ushering in this new world order, and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, a lot of us were doing
And
it.
I think that's what this card is about as well, is, turning things upside down in your world and recognizing, what, I was partying under false pretenses. I shouldn't have been partying. I woke up to a battlefield,
Yeah, this can be partying, like too much intoxication too. But keep in mind, this is the spiritual guidance. This is what we're being guided, and this is the material, right? And like the structure, there's been the deep state is lost. Like we're talking about, and the actual victory is the patriot side. But it hasn't really fully come home to people, right? And not only that, this liberation thing in the United States, well, it has to spread out into the world.
Right. It's starting to.
It will. Right?
Colombia.
But so there's a lot. I mean, the whole, all of Europe, all of the UK. What about Canada, right? What's Canada going to do about the dysfunctional constitutional monarchy that they're under, right? Or we're under, and how the king isn't really
The king.
the king, shouldn't be the king.
Oh,
but
gosh, no.
But no, it is coming.
No.
But there has been enough people that have pushed back, right? And that's the thing. It's like, it doesn't need to be 100% all of us all seeing at the exact same level. In fact, some people are going to see more than others. It balances out that way. It doesn't mean that we don't strive to excel or to grow in awareness, but some people aren't meant to be peeling back all of the layers, right? But even though the layers are being peeled back for a lot of people, because like what this Emperor card talks about is the structure, the rules, the foundation of the material world is rotten.
Yes.
He's holding a rotten apple now. And this is what this is talking about, is waking up to this notion. But what do you do next, right? And like, it's reinvigorating that sense of personal sovereignty and the ability to act, right? But yet that's where spiritual practice comes in. A lot of things need to be cleared away first. Like this balance between the heart and the mind needs to be established first with a lot of people, right? And the illusion around the money, that's what they've got next, right? This idea that the rug can be pulled underneath of you. And I mean, President Trump is using economics as a way of kind of getting people on board. It's called economic warfare. But yeah, that's kind of what's next, right? Okay, let's ask about the P. Diddy files and the Epstein files first.
Yep.
And also, what else is going to be disclosed? Like, how much is going to be disclosed? But is there going to be disclosure around the lists and everything?
Are these people on P. Diddy's list going to be held accountable? Are the people on the Epstein list, are they going to be held accountable? Like Ghislaine Maxwell, where did she go? She disappeared. And they disclosed the black book. They disclosed the flight records. But did they disclose the submarine records? Where are those? I want those. And we can even talk about what happened with Jennifer Aniston and Obama.
Do you think that they're going out?
There's even more to that one than is being disclosed. And this is what I feel this reading was even about. Yes, okay, they're giving us truth now. They're building trust back again. But they're only giving us so much. They're not going to give us all. And that's what my worry is. And that's why, again, okay, how much disclosure, how much misinformation, disinformation is still going to be coming out? I think the whole world is waiting to find out who's on these lists.
Well, yeah.
Because, I mean...
That was a big one, right? So what do you see there?
So I'm going to just jump to the end because the future looks great.
So we got past, present, future. Right?
Yeah. So future is okay. Like that. Sun. And that's what you got to remember no matter what we talk about right now. Because, the focus has to be the future. And if we're going into the past too much, it's easy to stay there. And that's not what's needed right now. Yes, the world is in a difficult place right now because lies, because the truth is coming out because the lies are so outrageous, because they're so bad, because they're so scrambling to try to cover things up. At the World Economic Forum, you watch these speeches and you see, yes, they realize that it's not going according to plan, that things are not the way that they should be. And so, look, there's a lot of hurt, a lot of sorrow, a lot of upset, and there were a lot of steps that are needed to get to where we're going, to get to this point. And see, this is the thing, these files are going to get released. Like, that's what I see. I see it's coming out, and this was the natural next step, and this is what this is about.
But it's going to be phases.
Like, you see...
This has already been in phases, right? And so, like, with the 7, it's going to be, like, not immediate, right? That's what I see.
But, again, it's the child.
Yeah, and it's good.
And this is good because this is what we're shining a light on, is how important the child is. And we've neglected that. And that is why we are here. We are spiritual warriors. We are here called to this mission for this child, for this future, for this sunny future. And I believe we're going and heading in that right direction.
To like, think about it too. Like, we asked, like, are they going to release the files? Yes, the files will see the light of the sun.
Yes, right? Without a doubt.
Like that kind of thing.
It was just the natural next step.
This card is interesting with the 9 of swords, how the 3 swords run through the top of the person, right? But yet there's 6 swords above. And in many ways, just classically, like, how this is defined as like fear, right? And overcoming fear and excessive worry. And how 3 of the swords represent actual concerns, but how, like, fear creates more fear, and thought, and how thought works, like swords represent thought, right? So what people are going to find out is that a lot of it, there's a lot of truth to it, but there's a lot of things that people, there's been a lot of BS, a lot of lies, right? This card here with the King of Cups is definitely somebody not speaking the truth. So who do we have? Who does this significant of?
Oh, Puff Daddy right now. That's what we were asking about.
Well, yeah.
His kingdom is
trying to lie.
Is falling apart.
So maybe that's part of it, is they're trying to weed out what he's been lying about and what's true, right? Like, because he's been
I think he thought he was untouchable.
Yeah, he did.
I think he thought that.
Well, he's like Epstein.
Yeah.
In a way. Epstein also thought he was untouchable as well, right? But they are acting on it, right? This is actually, because this is a card of action, the eight of Wands, right?
Well, that's what I mean. And I look at it as, when I get that card, is in steps. This is like, and these are necessary steps. These are things that had to happen.
Yeah.
And, it's about fire, about establishing a strong base. These steps had to happen, so the base was established. So this can be believed. What the information that is about to come out is going to be so unbelievable, too much for most people, that, again, you need to have a bit of a base. But a lot of people haven't even acknowledged that there's a base because they've been so distracted by work, by laundry, by kids, by this, by that, by this, by that, aliens, Jesus, this, like, there's, Everything and
Oh,
anything.
the drones.
Oh, everything. Fear. Again, fear, and then worry, and 1 worry, 2 worry, 3 worry adds to 10. And that's what we were focusing on and talking about. No more focusing on worry, no more focusing on fear, focus on what we want. And what we want is truth. We want sunny days. We want, focus to be family, to be a future, to be abundance. And I think it's possible.
Yeah, I think
I
so
see
too.
that in the cards, and I've been seeing that in the cards. Like I was telling you yesterday, I had one of the best readings for myself, and I think, it's a sign of, yes, we're going into that golden age.
I think a lot of us are feeling that way. Like, I think a lot of people at home are feeling that too, no matter where you are. There is this vibration, right? But
this almost.
Okay, so one of the things that is a big part of even the P. Diddy thing is the human trafficking around children.
Yes.
Right? And that is, I think, part of what they're actually working out. Actually, some of the busts that we're seeing with the deportations are connected with this. And that's why a lot of this information hasn't come out yet. But they're also protecting certain people.
And that's what I mean. There's not full disclosure. And
well, I think it's going to lead to it, right? Like,
eventually it has to happen.
But I think what you're seeing is like something like what President Trump has been doing is cutting deals behind the scenes and basically saying, like, are you on board with us? Do you want to save your legacy? Do you want to save your family? Do you want to save your assets because you want to continue on? Because if you don't, you're going to be in big trouble. And there's a bit of a problem with that too. I think people are going to question whether there is full transparency. I think this is what this is actually showing us, is that little, like, there's going to be like say 3 files released, but yet we know that there's 6 more.
That's what I'm saying, like the submarine files, like holding people accountable. And I think that's what people need, is accountability right now. Obviously, people knew this was happening. Obviously, there was somebody who knew that these things were going on.
Like on the upper...
A limo driver.
But this is part of their system, right? Like,
either way.
Yeah, there's so many people
There's so many people involved, nannies, people to take care of these children, all of these things. Yeah. And why is nobody coming forward? Fear?
They're feared. They're scared.
And again, the worry. They're going to go after their own family. Well, what does it matter? We're all connected. We're all family. And I think this is waking up to that Christ consciousness.
Yeah.
That card we had previously, the lovers. We have to love our fellow man. And remember that again. Not divide each other and hate each other, but...
I agree, though. I fully agree with
neighbor.
That, actually.
How? Well, some days, how do you love your neighbor? Well, especially when he's got garbage and he's telling you what to do.
How do you love P. Diddy?
Yeah. How do you find love for Hillary Clinton?
Exactly.
How? Bill Gates. How?
Well, but you can, though, right? And I guess that's what this card really talks about, is the charitability.
Well...
Or it like...
Which role do you play in that card? Are you somebody who's able to help out, or do you need a helping hand?
Okay,
that's how I look at that card. You could, at any moment, you could be either one. And most times we are. We have to experience both sides of that lesson. And I think that's what's going to happen. If you've always experienced one end of that lesson, you're now about to experience the other.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, that's a good one. Good one. Silence, that's your favorite card, isn't it?
I like that card. Yes, I do.
I love this card.
I like holding the balance. Yeah, it's a nice card to see.
What cards do you use again? Tell the audience.
I use the Tarot of the Abyss. I quite like that. Was the first tarot
the
deck I got
one.
into, and it's funny because I didn't bring it today. Normally I bring my cards with me, but I thought no, Guy's got it.
Funny,
so we're gonna go with Guy's deck.
And I always use the Rider-Waite, and I've kind of gotten accustomed to it.
Well, but that's how I got into it. It spoke my language, and because of that, I started to get more into tarot in general, and I realized it didn't matter what deck I had, the message was the same. That the 3 of Cups is the 3 of Cups is the 3 of Cups is the 3 of Cups,
Well, the symbol.
And that's it.
Yeah.
There is no disputing it.
But she brought up a really good point for people at home. Like, you kind of got to go with the cards that you feel drawn to as well.
Yes.
And I suggest, like especially if you're starting out new, get the book with it and study that book. But don't be afraid to branch out.
Well,
I use these cards because these connect to the ancient system that we're talking about astrology and the Western mystery tradition, Western esoteric tradition, but this links us to the beginning of the cards, to the Renaissance. And it's that transmission of symbols that I'm concerned with. But like if you've studied it, like what she's saying, it starts to resonate. Three of Cups is a Three of Cups is a Three of Cups is a Three of Cups. Like often when I read other cards, a lot of the time I see the Rider-Waite. Like it doesn't matter what card.
Because you know the card so well.
And I used to read a lot with the Aleister Crowley deck.
Yeah, the Thoth.
The Thoth deck, right? Which they have a place as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so interesting. Before I ask you what you think these two cards, but I think what we could actually do, and this is kind of a neat little experiment, that we can intend, this is what the High Priestess actually is showing us, is that like what we're talking about, the healing and the disclosure, we can intend that. She's silent. She's a silent mirror. She has access divine source within her, but she is silent in her intellectual mind. She can stop it and listens to that intuition, but we can intend that disclosure, full disclosure.
Yep.
And so that's what I want people to do after you watch the video. Sit down in meditation, sit down in a silent moment and give thought to that intention. Ask for that disclosure.
For the truth to be known.
And healing.
That's it.
And the healing for everybody. Everybody that are victims of this and the perpetuators of that as well.
Because they need more healing than anybody else. And that's where, how do we love our neighbor? And that's what we got to ask for too.
So
is that grace. Truth has tried to come up before and people were told it will, and then it didn't.
Yeah.
And that's what I think this is. The fear is that we were told it's going to come out and something would change, but it hasn't. And now what? And so this is, okay, one more time, people. Let's not be afraid to take the blindfold off and walk through the mud, walk through the trenches. But people will be afraid, and that's what I'm seeing is that they don't. You know what? You're comfortable in your reality.
Okay, so one more question, and we're gonna ask about time travel.
Okay.
Time travel. Yeah, we are gonna.
We're gonna go time travel. Okay.
Did President Trump's uncle get access to time travel technology? Is Barron Trump a time traveler? Right? But mostly around the technology. Does it exist? Do these guys have it? Right? And it might come out whether Barron is a time traveler or not. We'll see. I think he's a well brought up 18-year-old boy. And he's America's son right now, which is pretty funny.
He's the golden child. Like again,
I think he's
this family.
I think he's a good boy,
this family is
man.
like, it feels like the Jackie O era.
It is.
It feels like that again. You know, but exactly, but better.
So we're asking about time travel. This card here is an interesting card, the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so
in the center, no less.
Yeah, and that's answering the question. So these guys that are walking outside, that's the public. Okay, because it's snowing, because they're destitute and they're hurt, and they don't necessarily see that salvation or
to me
there's something inside, but it's hidden to them, right? So it's this idea that there is hidden technology, that the deep state has been hiding things. So we know this, right?
But the deep state are saying it's in plain sight. It's right there.
But yeah, they're presenting one thing. It's right there. But yet you have to go inside to actually see what it is.
Yeah.
So what we know, we already know this. All of the conspiracy lore and everything from going back, I mean, it's all tied to American deep state military research. But it's not just in the States, it's all over the world, right? Like Australia, Pine Lake in the middle of Australia. It's a huge, like, Area 51. Europe is riddled with them. She's talking about CERN, United States, Canada, Cold Lake in Alberta. Is just few examples, right?
All the underground cities, the
But they're-
underground tunnels.
Yes, and they're all working on these technology projects,
Yes.
sometimes separate and sometimes connected, right?
Yeah, see, when I get this, things are not what they seem.
Like with the moon, or yeah, it's
And
like,
it's upside down.
like it's hidden,
So, yeah.
or it's especially when it's upside
Again,
down, it can be
it-
inverted or it can be
It
confused.
coincides with what you're saying. It's
Yeah.
not what people think it is. They think, oh, you get in a machine like Steve Urkel on Family Matters. You get in a machine and
Yeah.
you go in your transport and you bring back another Steve Urkel who's Stefan. No,
Yep.
it's not like that.
Yep.
It's like, it's something else. And you have to actually go inside in order to do that. But a lot of people, again, don't want to do that. There's that resistance.
I agree, and I think that this card here is Donald Trump's uncle. It represents him because we asked specifically about him, right? So yes, he is connected to that. There is a connection, right? And I think Trump is aware of a certain level, but it's kind of giving us a little bit broader answer, I think. There's a patent out there for this. That's what this also is significant of, lawyers.
And
But
words,
there's a
right?
patent. There's a legal,
Yeah.
so they've patent, like, and I guess that's what people talk about. This goes back to that book, The Last President, and Barron Trump, the time traveler book.
Yep.
Ingersoll was the author.
Yeah,
I
I'll
guess.
bring the book next time.
You have it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen it quite a few times, actually, and you can get it online.
Yes.
It's an interesting
You
thing.
can get it on Amazon.
This guy wrote this book in 1909. He wrote a couple books, and one of them talks about the last president. And wasn't he Trump in it?
Yep. The rumored last president is supposed to be the Trump name. So as to who,
But is
which
it in
Trump
that book?
is it? Yes, it's in there.
But then there's a kid in it named Barron.
Barron
That is
Trump.
a time traveler.
Yes.
So this is where a lot of the
picture
lore comes
looks
from, right?
strikingly like
yeah.
him.
Yeah, it's wild.
So
right?
yeah, it is a little bit wild.
Kind of didn't expect this, actually, to be honest with you.
You thought I was joking.
Well, no, this over here has kind of got me thinking, like, what is it trying to show me?
Well, but look,
Right.
okay, so whenever I see this card, this is about a fight. This is about
Yeah, there's a
you're-
fight going on,
yes,
right?
but
this is
defending
future,
your
too.
position. It's like defending the knowledge, defending the truth, defending their version of the truth. I think that's what's going to happen because people are so reluctant
Well, if Trump,
to see what's going on to accept it. They're going to be in defense mode. They're going to be in fight mode still. And that's what this is talking
okay,
about.
okay, so there's two things I'm
Yeah.
picking up here. And I believe what Trump says is that he wants to do this to benefit people,
Yeah,
right? So that's part of that fight, like what you're talking
Yeah.
about. But I think what happened, and I did a reading, almost a year ago, about hidden technology and what they were hiding. And I picked up that there was a system that they had found off-world and also in Antarctica. And it does relate to a quantum computing system, but it doesn't work. But what I picked up was a communication thing. It was all about communicating. They figured out this way of communicating, but this is what we're talking about. But what they actually picked up on was not human. There
Divine.
was something else out there, right? Yeah, and angelic, but it being reversed, it's not necessarily, but it's of. It blew their minds, right? Like they tried to turn on this technology or whatever, try to utilize it, and what was on the other side of it wasn't necessarily what they suspected.
Yes.
Okay, but there's a patent out there apparently that right from the beginnings they started to develop this as a patent. That's what they do with these researches, by the way.
Well, how else are you going to make money?
That's what they do. Yeah.
How else? Come on. Yeah.
So it is about coming out, and I mean, the more the good leaders that are there, like the Trumps, and I guess who else?
The Argentinian guy.
Yeah, there's a few people,
He's
right?
looking good.
But
I like him so
they
far.
listen to the people,
Yeah.
right?
But that's what we want, is somebody who is there for the people and actually there for the people, not pretending to be.
Exactly.
Not just some puppet that is being puppeteered. Like, again, great, we're going to go after Fauci, but what about the puppeteers in the background? Like, accountability. And that's where we need to realize the people who've been running our country, we've chosen them. And we've allowed them to be in their position for way too long. And they haven't been accountable for the demise of society, the demise of our civilization, especially after World War II.
You see Barron Trump in this?
The Page is always, for me, when I see the Page,
Well, that is
young,
his 18, right? He is
kid, right? And
20.
there we go. We see this,
He would be a knight maybe at this age, but yeah, that could be him.
you know, and
What I'm seeing is that there is quite a bit of knowledge that Trump and the Trump family does bring, but what they've been actually doing is keeping him away from it. They've been guarding him, okay?
well,
And part of his legacy is just like they let him in on tidbits as he gets in, because this kid is set.
yep.
He doesn't have to do a bloody thing.
Oh, king of
right?
the castle.
Like he might
King of
not
the
even
castle.
go into politics. You know what I mean? Like he could go slip out of the public identity. But yeah, I'm kind of getting that they've been protecting him from this kind of information because it's way bigger than them, and there's a lot to it, and it's quite out there.
With great power
but
comes great responsibility.
This has been a battle with the deep state, though. This is actually and a lot of people know this. We talk about this. This is part of the lore, that the hidden technology is part of that battle underneath the surface of things, right? So, what do you think?
Yeah,
You jive
I
with that?
told you with the reading, he's a time traveler. You can't, like I've tried to disprove it, but I can't. I keep finding more and more proof that,
But
who knows, like it's
right?
just odd number of coincidences.
Who knows? It's quite a bit different than what people are aware of. I mean,
And that
a
makes
lot of
sense.
us are not physicists,
No.
right?
And that
So,
makes sense
right?
why we wouldn't even be aware of it, because we don't even know the possibilities and capabilities.
People can search out the patent numbers. They can search for the patents, right? So whether those are accurate or not, that's another story, right?
Right.
Okay, so I think that's it for now. That was awesome. Thank you, Taya.
Thank you for having me.
This was great. Thank you, everybody out there watching our videos. So take care wherever you are, and make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And I hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.